Welcome to the PI Podcast, your destination for everything NFL, discussing the latest news and providing in-depth analysis of every NFL game. And now, here are your hosts, Ian and Tesh.
Alright guys, welcome to the PI Podcast. We're on episode 8. We got a special guest joining us, ATLWILL. He's on TikTok with the name ATLWILL. He has almost 80,000 followers, and he does amazing Atlanta Falcons themed content, and he's just an all-around amazing TikToker. Probably my favorite sports TikToker as well on the app.
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
And thank you for joining us, Will. And first, we're going to get right into it. First of all, we want to ask you, when and why did you decide to start making TikToks?
Well, TikTok, I started deciding to make TikToks back in 2021, right before the Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl. Like literally that week, I decided to start making TikToks, and at first it was like conspiracy videos, I guess, like NFL conspiracy videos. And then it just escalated to like more Falcons content, and then it just escalated from there. So, but I mean, I've been filming a long time, since like 2012 was whenever I first started filming like actual like YouTube. But TikTok, that was February 2021.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Definitely. Hey, you could start anywhere, and that conspiracy thing's pretty interesting too, because I don't see much of that conspiracy football videos up there on TikTok.
Yeah, they're pretty entertaining.
Yeah. Ian, would you like to ask Will any questions?
Yeah. So, why did you decide to be a Falcons fan?
That is a great question, man. That's like the number one question that any Falcons fan will ever get. Why would you become a Falcons fan? Because like that's just pure torture. And in all honesty, I'm not gonna lie. I actually used to be an Eagles fan, but not in the way you guys would think. I like the bird eagle, like whenever I was younger. So I was an Eagles fan, but like I didn't like the team. I just liked the logo. But whenever I started learning football, I became a Falcons fan just because they're the local team. There's the gears at Walmart. I can go to Walmart and buy a hat or whatever, you know. So that's kind of why. Just it was the local team, and it was easy to root for. And they were actually kind of good whenever I first became a fan, so it wasn't that hard. So
yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I became a Falcons fan. Or actually, a little later, I became a fan of football because I really wasn't grown into football. I became a fan of the Falcons just because I watched a game one day and I started loving the Falcons. I was in Georgia, and I just started loving Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and everybody on that team.
Yeah. Do you remember your first Falcons game that you've ever watched?
It was, I think it was the 2012 season, and I think it was one of the regular season games. I watched a little bit of game, I guess a quarter. I wasn't too much into football, but the main game I watched that year, I think, was the Seahawks-Falcons playoff game with Matt Bryant hitting that game winner. And
or Matt Ryan to Tony Gonzalez. My first ever Falcons game I remember watching was the Bengals versus Falcons preseason game. And that's weird that I remember it as a preseason game, 2012 season. So this was right before they went 13-3, had the first seed in the playoffs. I think it was the first seed, played the Seahawks, and the playoffs beat them. It was the Bengals preseason game, which is just cool that I remember. I'd like to go look at the footage of that, but that's the first ever Falcons game I sat down and watched and was like, wow, this is cool, even though it was a bunch of backups playing in a preseason game.
That's cool. That's really cool. Who thought a preseason game could get you into football or at Falcons as well?
Yeah.
When did you notice that TikTok was blowing up?
TikTok started blowing up for me around December 2021, I think. Yeah, around December 2021. I mean, I haven't like blown up, but the first good videos I had was in December. It was consistently over like 10,000 views. And TikTok actually used to pay really good. So like I was making more money then than I do now, and I get way more views now than I did then. But TikTok like changed their pay rate since then. So like I don't make near as much as I probably should be making. So it was around then is whenever I started noticing it. It was probably whenever I started the Exposing Bandwagon series. I don't know if you guys have watched that. But
I saw a couple of those.
Yeah, that's whenever it started to pick up a lot, I think.
That's really cool. I remember 2019 TikTok started getting more popular and popular, and then you got Charli D'Amelio and then all these other people blowing up. And I remember I didn't even know what TikTok was, and I was just kind of making videos here and there about random stuff. It's just really cool to see like how you could grow as a sports fan on TikTok as well.
Yeah. I wish I was as big as I am now on TikTok on YouTube. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's like, TikTok it pays more. I mean, I feel like 70,000 subscribers is more impressive than 70,000 followers on TikTok. And I wish it wasn't that way. But I mean, TikTok, I wish I could really trade and go to YouTube and do that full time and like upload longer content, but it's just the way that it is, it's fine, but yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got a really good following on TikTok, and like a lot of ways, it's kind of cool and a little, I wouldn't say easier, but kind of it's easier to get noticed more on TikTok than YouTube or whatever content.
Yeah, it's easier to blow up. If you like, I say this like my friends or like anyone that has like a passion in anything all the time. I'm like, dude, just start making TikTok videos about it. It could be literally anything. Just make videos on TikTok because it's so easy to get noticed on TikTok compared to YouTube. Because like you could upload a video to TikTok, it'll get like 3,000 views just randomly, but on YouTube, that's not happening on YouTube.
Yeah, a couple of our TikToks on the PI podcast TikTok, they got like 10,000 views, 5,000 views. It's just crazy just to see like random videos could go up on the view board.
Yeah, that's the power of TikTok's algorithm. It's insane. It's cool.
Speaking of that, kind of the YouTube and TikTok side of things, do you do this full time, or do you want to do it full time, or is it just a hobby?
I wish I could do this full time, man. It's definitely just a hobby right now, and I don't know how long it'll stay just a hobby. I would love to do it full time and actually make legit cool content and like upload it on YouTube too. But for now, I consider it just a hobby. And during the NFL season, it picks up way more than during the off season. So during the NFL season, it's just about full time because like I'm trying to do videos about most games and try and stay up to date with everything compared to the off season. So
yeah, the NFL season, it's like a lot more people are into football. They're excited for football, and they're just ready to watch some football and learn about football more.
Yeah, which surprisingly, the past few days during free agency, my views have kind of picked up a little bit compared to whenever there's not free agency going on. So I wish I could expand to like NBA content or maybe MLB, but I'm just not as passionate about that as NFL. I mean, I could do it, but it just doesn't come as naturally. Like I want to film NFL content. I want to do videos about the Falcons, but like I just don't have that urge for like the Braves. I mean, I love the Braves, I love the Hawks, but like it just comes so easy with the Falcons and the NFL.
Yeah, I think like I know a little bit about basketball. I don't know anything about baseball too much, but I really just started focusing heavily on NFL. Like I've just become a fan of NFL, not too much of the other stuff, but I've been to a Hawks game and stuff like that. It's just that everything Falcons and NFL related, I've got way more into it now than years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What are your next big goals in your life?
Next big goals. As far as TikTok, I want to hit 100K as soon as possible. But I mean, the way I'm uploading right now, that's not going to happen until probably when the season picks up. But yeah, I definitely hit 100K, and then everyone's always telling me like you need to drop merchandise, and I'm like, man, I'm not dropping merchandise till I get like 100K. It just, I mean, I don't know how I'd even get started with that, but 100K merchandise, that's probably the next step and like next goal.
Yeah, we have actually we're so small, but we just have kind of like easy merch that we made off a website. Yeah, definitely. Ian knows Ian made it himself, so Ian made like the merch and stuff. So if anytime you wanna make merch, ask him and he'd probably help you out.
Yeah, that's cool. Which if I were to ever make merchandise, I wouldn't want something with like my name on it. I want to be creative with like my merchandise and have like NFL meme merchandise, and maybe have my name like small in the corner or just something. But I would want something that's trendy, that people are like actually want to go buy my shirt off a website. Not because like, I mean, obviously they would like following me, but because like, oh, that shirt is hilarious or it looks cool. So if I were to ever make merchandise, it would look a lot like that.
What games do you want to go to this year, Falcons wise?
Ooh, man, this upcoming season is going to be rough, but definitely a prime. I don't know how many primetime games we're going to get.
I hope we get a lot. I'm honestly, I like primetime games, even though we don't have the quarterback anymore. But
I can't imagine we would get more than 2. Like seriously, I promise you guys, we're not going to get more than 2 primetime games. I bet we'll get one versus the Saints because the rivalry has kind of became trendy. Yeah. I think so. I think we'll get a Monday night game, Thursday night game against the NFC South team. Maybe the Saints, Panthers, maybe the Bucks. I don't know, but I have to imagine it'd probably be the Saints because of the Mariota and then Winston rivalry from the draft in 2015. So I would want to go to that one, and hopefully it'd be in Atlanta so I could go to that one. But if not, I'd like to go to, I think of their schedule.
That Mariota Winston rivalry. I remember the first time they like went against each other. They're like that was really cool game.
Yeah, Mariota won that game. So
yeah, they blew up the Bucks out that game, I believe.
Yeah, they did. Jameis Winston's first pass was a pick six. I remember watching that because I was so happy because I wanted the Bucks to suck, and they did. So
I think it's just gonna be harder now with Tom Brady returning and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no.
At least Deshaun Watson didn't go to the Saints because that would have been really terrible.
Yeah, that would have been very bad. I mean, if you would have told me he didn't go to the Falcons, I would have been like, "Oh my God, this is the end of the world." But then you'd be like, "Oh, he went to the Browns." I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, at least he didn't go to the Saints. You know, we ruined our relationship with our franchise quarterback, but at least he didn't go to the Saints.
Speaking of, how close are you to Atlanta? Are you like near the area, or?
I'm about an hour and maybe an hour and 10, 20 minutes, maybe. I mean, it's not that bad, which I don't know why I'm called ATLWILL. I'm not from Atlanta. But, I can definitely drive down there. I've done it plenty of times. I mean, yeah.
Everyone knows there's ATLWILL, so you kind of got to keep it now.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was going to ask if you would be like, if you want to see Matt Ryan in an Indy uniform, like, would you be willing to go to one of those kind of games?
Yeah, dude. The Colts play the Falcons in 2023 in Atlanta. Yes, I would go to that game.
Oh, I have to go to that game too. Yeah, that's going to be
that would probably be his last time in Atlanta, so I would go to that game. I can't imagine I would wear his Colts jersey. I would definitely wear the Falcons Matt Ryan jersey because I still rep the Birds. I mean, of course I'm cheering for him, and like I'll wear a Colts hat in a video for fun. But I'm gonna rep my Dirty Birds if I were to go to that.
I already bought a Matt Ryan jersey from the Colts.
For the Colts, really?
Yeah,
I'm debating about it.
I'm actually pretty upset about what happened. Like, I'm really upset, but I wanted to buy his jersey anyways.
Yeah.
It's not wrong to like follow Matt Ryan. I mean,
No.
he spent
Yeah.
so long in Atlanta. I mean, that's like I still follow Gardner Minshew, and he was only a Jaguars quarterback for 2 years. I just when someone creates a spark for your team, or someone like Matt Ryan has been the face of the franchise for as long as he has been, it's to me, it's not wrong. Like that's not bandwagoning at that point. That's just a player you really enjoyed watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's just crazy what went down with that Matt Ryan thing. What was your reaction when Deshaun Watson? We were trying to go for Deshaun Watson, then we failed. Then Matt Ryan actually wanted out, or then out to blank actually did it.
He didn't necessarily want out, but he suggested at that. He's just such a professional human being that he was like, okay, you can sign me to a 3-year contract or you can trade me. And obviously they're like, okay, we want to do good by Matt Ryan. And it wasn't about the compensation that we got for him. And like I saw we got a 3rd-round pick and I was like, man, that sucks. But it wasn't about what we got. It was about doing right by Matt Ryan. And I think we did him great justice by sending him to the Colts because I think they're going to do a great job over there. But yes, I was not happy. I mean, I was sad, but I know we gotta move on, man. It's time.
I eventually knew we were gonna move on from Ryan within the next couple of years. I mean, I was kind of preparing for it, but the only thing that makes me even more mad was that this year's NFL draft is more heavily defensive star defensive draft this year, and now they want to sign some people for the defense and actually start to build this defense when Matt Ryan really never had a defense.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. He's never had a good defense, and the only time he had a good defense was in 2017, the year after the Super Bowl. He had a decent defense then. But that's the only one that I can really remember that we had.
Yeah, that Super Bowl defense was good, stats wise, but I just remember it. They're giving up a lot of yards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just that year, I believe we got a lot more 3rd down stops and things like that and turnovers.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think this is the best offseason you've ever seen?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot going on. There's been so much, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of good ones. I think the year that Peyton Manning became a Bronco was a good one.
Yeah.
But this one was really, really good. The year Tom Brady actually became a Buck was really controversial because DeAndre Hopkins got traded. But in all honesty, this is probably the best that I can remember. And that's unfortunate because it hasn't been a good one for the Falcons. But yeah, I'd say so.
And yeah, there's been so many trades this offseason. It's really a lot of them. Unfortunately, went to the NFC West. I mean, that's a good thing for them, the NFC West. But that division is going to be really, really fun to watch as well.
Yeah, the NFC West and the AFC West are. I mean, can we have 4 playoff teams from one division?
I know. Yeah,
because the AFC West looks like it's going to be that way.
Is it 7 teams in the playoffs this year, or is it 8?
It's 7.
7, yeah. It used to be 6, and it's 7.
I mean, that would be insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if all 4 can go to the playoffs, but if there's ever a division to do it, it would be the AFC West next season or the NFC West because they could do it.
Yeah, I don't know. That division's really tough. I thought the Chiefs had it on lock until they got rid of Tyreek Hill, and now I'm like, maybe I could see the Chargers winning that. I could see the Raiders doing it. I know a lot of people sleep on the Raiders, but they now have the best wide receiver in the league, and they have one of the best defensive lines in the league. Yeah,
and I think I have a favorite for that division, and I think it's the Raiders are my favorite. I don't even like the Chiefs anymore because they don't have Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce's getting older. But, I mean, Derek Carr is obviously not the best quarterback in that division, but look at his roster. They just signed Chandler Jones. And then I think they traded for another defensive player. I'm not sure. But, I mean, freaking, what's his name? The Packers guy.
Now I'm
How do I not know his name? Oh, my God.
Who they drafted? Was it a defensive player or offensive player?
The Packers' offensive weapon they just traded.
Oh, Devontae Adams?
Devontae Adams. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah, he is a great weapon, and him and Derek Carr go way back, and I think that is very underrated, especially old connections like that. I mean, you see it with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. But yeah, I think the favorite for me in that division is the Raiders. I mean, I kind of like the Chargers, but the Raiders and the Broncos, I think, are going to be the two battle in and out because I love Russell Wilson, and I think he's going to do really good in Denver too.
I personally, getting a true number one wide receiver can change a franchise. You've seen it with the Bengals.
Yeah.
That's literally all they picked up some defensive players last offseason, but really Jamar Chase was the factor that changed that team around. Yeah. I'm excited to see them with a new offensive line too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to be good next season. They invested so much in the offensive line that they should have. They did a great job this offseason doing that. So that's exciting. I mean, the AFC is just absolutely loaded.
I'm actually really high on the Broncos because of that Russell Wilson trade being one of the main reasons, and because they already have receivers around them. But not only that, I think the Broncos defense is the best defense in that division. I think they have a very good depth at linebacker, at corner, at D-line, that their defenses can be locked down, and Russell Wilson again with a defense and two really good receivers in Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. I think that he's going to go off.
Yeah, I completely agree on that. And, I mean, the Chargers, I think a toss-up for last in the division is the Chargers and the Chiefs. And that's bad to say because never doubt out a franchise quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, someone who has the potential to be legendary. But I think it's going to be between the Chargers and Chiefs to be bottom of that division. I think it's the Broncos or the Raiders, Broncos, and then at the bottom, it's a toss-up between the Chargers and Chiefs.
I like the take because a lot of people disrespect the Raiders. I think it's really disrespectful that people think the Raiders are going to be last in that division.
Oh, yeah. I love crazy. That team. Yeah.
Yeah, the Raiders have such a good defensive line with Max Crosby and everyone on that line, but also like Derek Carr and Devontae Adams, that connection is coming back, and he already had Hunter Renfrow. And just gonna give him more options, and
then we're not even mentioning Darren Waller. Yeah, Darren Waller is a monster. He is a great tight end. He's top 5.
Thing is, you watch the Bengals go from like a 4 or 5 win team, get a number one wide receiver, and then make the Super Bowl. You've got the Raiders that were a playoff team in already a really tough division, and now they got a new number one wide receiver. They got a really good edge rusher. I respect the number one spot in that division.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Going back to the Falcons now. Will, how do you feel about Marcus Mariota? Do you think he's going to play well?
I mean, I was doing research, or not necessarily research, just remembering the time him and Arthur Smith were on the Titans. And they played the Falcons, and I remember how mad I was that game. And I didn't remember why, and I went back and looked at the highlights to that game. And Marcus Mariota tore the crap out of the Falcons' defense. I want anyone that's listening to this, go watch that highlight footage. It's awful. A.J. Brown just destroyed Desmond Trufant that entire game. And Marcus Mariota looked elite. And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing because the Falcons' defense is bad to begin with. But I mean, that was giving me hope for like, okay, maybe this could be good. I mean, he's going to be electric next year. We're going to see something out of him that we haven't seen in a long, long time because we've had Matt Ryan. We have different play styles between the two.
Yeah, I'm actually a couple days ago I watched some Marcus Mariota highlights because he's our new quarterback and stuff like that. And I remember that Falcons-Titans game that frustrated me so much because I mean, Desmond Trufant, he was an okay corner. In his prime, though, when he was on our team, he played decent, at least. Yeah. And I really was high on him, but it was just crazy because Marcus Mariota was donning us up, but I knew our defense was horrible.
Yeah, going back to Desmond Trufant, I mean, I hope that AJ Terrell's not the same way because Desmond Trufant, when he first came into the league in 2013, I remember he had the same upside that AJ Terrell has right now and the same rapport as AJ Terrell. Everyone talked about him the same way that they are with AJ right now. And then he got injured the 2016 season. We went to the Super Bowl. He got put on IR. And then he just came back and he just was not the same. And I'm scared to death that the same thing is going to happen to AJ because they remind me of each other so much. And I would hate to see that happen.
That would be horrible. I would hate that as well because we haven't really had a defense, and I'd love to finally see this team rebuild and like build up that defense a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you see Arthur Smith being able to coach his team to at least 6 wins?
Yeah, actually. Okay, now that I think about it, maybe not. But if we had the same schedule as last year, easily. Because the free agency is still not over. The draft isn't over. I mean, we could take a franchise-altering quarterback in Malik Willis, potentially, maybe, I don't know, and it work out really well. And we could get 8 wins, maybe even the playoffs. I mean, that's what happened with Matt Ryan. I mean, we took him really early, we took him at like 4, not 8. We're picking 8 this year. But, I mean, you never know. I mean, I think he could. I'm not counting it out. I mean, it's a very hard schedule, but I wouldn't count it out.
I think he's a good enough coach, and I think Marcus Mariota, he did learn a little bit behind Derek Carr, and Derek Carr is a good quarterback. And
oh, yeah. Dude, actually, now that I think about it, the Raiders have been hyping up Marcus Mariota a lot. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Twitter. They're tweeting, I forgot who it was.
Derek Carr tweeted that Marcus Mariota is going to be a beast and everything like that.
Oh, yeah, he was like, Marcus Mariota. Okay, we went from having Deshaun Watson, who's potentially an awful human being, to Marcus Mariota, who is absolutely a great human being.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's an upgrade in itself. I'd want my franchise represented by a great person. And Mariota definitely could be that.
Yeah, I really hope Mariota can play well, because if he can play well, I actually think we can at least fight for second seed in that division, in our division.
Yeah, definitely not the first seed. If Brady wasn't in it, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's get the first seed, but maybe the second seed.
All right, we're gonna have you one more question for you. Are you happy that we're going to a rebuild, or would you have preferred building around Matt Ryan for a few more years?
Ooh, I'm such a fan that just believes in the team. And whatever we do, I always try and be positive about it. So either way, I was positive about it. Like if we were going to rebuild around Matt Ryan, I can see the upside in that. I can see the potential that there is in that. But I mean, we're not the Indianapolis Colts. We don't have a good offensive line. We have 0 weapons other than Kyle Pitts. We don't have an elite running back, good defense. So I understand what we're doing now. So what I'm happy with is probably rebuilding, in all honesty. I'm happy with the rebuild. I think it's time. I mean, as a matter of fact, it's been time. So, I mean, unfortunately, Matt Ryan will never win a Super Bowl with the Falcons that we all wanted. But
yeah, this is a really just tough question in general, because I've never known a quarterback as a Falcon fan other than Matt Ryan, and it was just so hard to not see Matt Ryan as a Falcon. And I really wanted him to be here till he retired, honestly, because I think he's playing still at a high level, that he could still play at the high level. And I think if we built a defense around him, he would have led us far again.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a Colts fan listening, the Colts are going to be really good this year. I can assure you on that. They will.
Yeah.
They have an easy division too. I mean, I'm a Jaguars fan, but I'm not oblivious to the fact that they're going to play us twice, and we're going to have a tough time against them. They get to play the Texans twice, That should be 2 free easy wins. And then I think the Titans games were toss-ups anyway. So now that they have Matt Ryan, I got them winning those games too.
Yeah, I can respect an honest fan, especially in division. I respect that.
Yeah, I asked that. Why are you a Falcons fan? Because I get the why are you a Jaguars fan all the time.
Yeah, it's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, I've personally been watching the Jaguars since like 2006, 2007, but I've like really started watching since like probably like 2013-ish. That's when I really started focusing. But even then, we were a 2 and 3 win team up until 2017, which was our only over 500 season in the past like 12 years.
Yeah, that was a good year. I remember that year. That was a good run you guys had.
Yeah. Thank you again, Will, for joining us on this podcast. Definitely. Do you have time for one more question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you see a Julio Jones and Matt Ryan reunion in Indianapolis?
Yes, like reuniting on the Colts.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way that would kind of hurt me.
It would hurt me too, so much.
Because I want them to be great, but I want them to be great on my team. And I know they would do magical things with Julio on the field if he's not hurt.
Him and Michael Pittman Jr. would be a really good.
Yeah, and Julio couldn't wear 11 on the Colts. He would have to wear. He couldn't wear 2 either. Because he just wore 2 on the Titans. He would probably wear 8. That was going back to his Alabama days. I remember watching Julio on the Crimson Tide because I'm an Alabama fan. I didn't know. I don't know if you guys know that, but I grew up an Alabama fan. I'd probably watch them more than the Falcons in all honesty. And I remember idolizing Julio like that in college. And then he went to my Falcons, and I'm like, oh my God, I love this guy. So.
And Julio Jones is just I love him. Ian actually I put him while I was playing a game, and I went to the front to watch Falcons game, and he heard me screaming Julio Jones' name every time he got a catch, and it was just funny for him especially. Yeah. Thank you again, Will, for joining us on the podcast. I'll definitely let you go, but thank you so much. We appreciate you having you on the podcast. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. We definitely love to have you on future podcasts as well. Definitely during the season as well, for Falcon game reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's no problem, man. I appreciate it. It was fun. I'll be sure to let people know to come watch this because you guys are some good guys, and they'll probably really enjoy your guys' content. So I'll be sure to let people know. I appreciate you guys too.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Definitely go check out Will on TikTok at ATLWILL. He's getting closer and closer to 100K. I believe he'll hit it this year anyways. He's an awesome creator. So go check him out. I'll leave his TikTok in the description below. Thank you again, Will. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's see. All right, Pratesh. Yeah. Do you suspect a draft of a quarterback early round or later round for the Falcons?
I think honestly, I think we should draft defensive here. 1 second, Ian. The cameras got switched up on the duo screen, so I have to refix that because I don't know why. But yeah, no, I really think we should draft defensively. It should fix itself in just a second. Yeah, okay. It's about to fix itself. If you guys are joining us, we had ATLWILL for a little bit here. He is an awesome creator, definitely. Like I just said, go check him out, ATLWILL. He's an awesome creator.
Should fix itself.
Yeah,
I dragged him out, so hopefully it'll.
Okay.
Once his
Yeah, I got a little technical difficulties.
Okay, while you do that, I'll talk the top free agents. Yeah. Okay, so we still have quite a few big names on the free agency board. Bobby Wagner is a big one. He met with the Ravens today. He met with the Ravens last week. So really, either one of those teams would be a good fit for him. Jadeveon Clowney is still a free agent. Stefan Gilmore, still a free agent. Tyrann Mathieu, still a free agent. Odell Beckham Jr. Akeem Hicks, Melvin Ingram III, Antonio Brown, Calais Campbell. When he's healthy, he's really good. He's getting older in age, but I think he'd be a good veteran presence on most defensive lines. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, those are some really good names you brought up. Bobby
Rob
Wagner is such a
Gronkowski.
huge name there.
Yeah, Gronk is still a free agent. I have a feeling. I think there's only two places he goes. He either goes to the Bucks or he goes to the Bengals, or he just retires.
Yeah,
Julio Jones, love to see him in Indy. Me personally, and I'm a Jaguars fan, so I don't really want to see the Indianapolis Colts succeed, but I do want to see Matt Ryan succeed. So like, I mean, I have my franchise quarterback for now. So like, even I'm not in a win now mode. Like I'm in a I want to look competitive this year mode, and then hopefully in the next year or two we'll be really competitive. And Jarvis Landry, that's another big wide receiver that's still available, who's rumored to want back on the Browns if now that they have Deshaun Watson.
yeah. A lot of people actually want Jarvis Landry, but I saw a report saying that he actually wanted like $20 million.
Yeah, he wanted some money.
So
yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna they're screwed kind of a little bit after a couple of years
I know.
because of that whole Deshaun Watson thing.
Yeah, I still don't agree with it for the Browns. I understand when you have an opportunity to upgrade at quarterback, you should take it, but not in the way they did it. I think they should have. I understand you can't wait on someone like Deshaun Watson, but I personally would have probably gave Baker this last year and then looked for a quarterback elsewhere if that was the case.
Yeah, it's kind of a little upsetting. I mean, I get they got a really good quarterback, but at the same time, it's like, you didn't even give Baker another shot. You just let him get injured and say he's garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, where does that go with Baker Mayfield's psyche too?
Yep.
I think I just have about this fixed.
I think that it messed up.
Yeah, it messed up. It messed up a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. It messed up a lot. Oh my god. Okay, but now I don't even know how it messed up. But we basically got it almost good. Ooh, okay. Your face is good. It's just my side now. Yeah. There's all the free agents still left. Big names.
Yeah, that was pretty much all of them. I kind of skipped around a couple of them because I wasn't 100% sure if they signed or not. But
Okay.
Tyrann Mathieu, I would love to see him in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that'd be really really cool to see Tyrann Mathieu on that defense with TJ Watt, that pass rush, because I think he's really good in coverage. So I think that'll just help him even more, because he can lock it down. I think I just about have it, and we should be good. Just need a little bit more. I don't know why this is messing up. Thanks, Discord. Appreciate you. Your face is really zoomed in now. I hate that, but other than that.
Well,
All right. I think we're just about good. What were you gonna ask?
I was gonna say, look at the free agency list and see which free agents you think would look good on certain teams. Starting with Bobby Wagner.
Okay. Starting off with Bobby Wagner. I really think he'd be a good fit for the Chargers. Honestly, if Chargers could sign him, they made some big splashes, but that just bolstered that team as well, just to have a shot at that AFC West, because that's going to be a really tough division. But I wouldn't be surprised as well. Another team, I think he'd go to. It's like you said, one of the teams you just said, the Steelers. The Steelers could also use him as well in their defense, and you never know how Mitch Trubisky's gonna play. Going down to Jadeveon Clowney, I really think the Falcons should sign him just to have that edge rusher depth, even, and he'd be starter automatically for sure because we have nobody on the defensive line other than Grady Jarrett.
Yeah.
But I really think they could sign him to a cheap deal. Another team Jadeveon Clowney would fit is the Patriots. I think they could really use a pass rusher as well, and I think Jadeveon Clowney is a good fit with Bill Belichick. Stefan Gilmore. He was in talks with some teams. I don't think he's decided yet. There's a lot of teams out there that need corners, and I think Panthers might try to re-sign him, but also what's that? Also, I think he would fit. I think he'd fit as a cheap deal for the Bills as well if they wanted him aside Tre'Davious White and all the corners they have up there in Buffalo. And also the Honey Badger. You just said Steelers. The Honey Badger also another good fit for these NFC teams that are safety-less. The Packers could use him. They probably can't afford him, but also the Bears. He would be a really good fit with the Bears as well. With that defense with Akeem Hicks and everybody, I think that's he's gonna be sought after by a lot of teams, and he's gonna get paid big. Yeah. What are you gonna say?
I was going to move on to Odell.
Yeah, I need to plug my thing in. Go ahead.
Odell, I think he's going to take a minute before a team really pursues him. I think it's going to be kind of like he was similar to the Rams, where he was kind of traded midway through the season to them. I think he's going to sign with a team midway through the season. And I would like to see him back with the Rams, honestly. But they got rid of Robert Woods, but picked up Allen Robinson. So, like, really, Odell could explore options with any team.
Yeah, I think if the Rams wanted him to sign him back, or they really could afford to sign him back, they would have by now. And there's a lot of teams that could use him. I saw this one tweet that he could potentially go to the Browns, but I honestly, that's kind of credible because they have Deshaun Watson now, but I just don't see him. I just don't see him signing him to anything.
If Jarvis Landry was still there, I would see it because they're actually good friends.
Yeah, and that would be like the only way he'd go back to the Browns. I think he's done with the Browns for sure. Even though they have Deshaun Watson now. But also, a lot of wide receiver heavy teams. The Patriots need wide receiver. Falcons need a wide receiver. And a whole lot of teams in the AFC could use a receiver like the Colts, even.
Yeah.
And other teams like that. Texans, they don't have receivers at all, except for Brandon Cooks. And, yeah. J.C. Treader is a really good lineman. A lot of these teams you can use him as well. Some of these names on this list are really surprising that they haven't been signed yet. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe teams are just waiting for it to settle down so they can get them for cheaper. But with what happened with Christian Kirk and the wide receiver market going higher and higher, I mean, I think teams are kind of double guessing themselves and overthinking it a little bit because they don't know how much they want to pay these receivers.
This isn't a bad draft for wide receivers either. It's just there's so much talent on the defensive and offensive line that like these wide receivers aren't going very high.
Yeah. There's a lot of good names here, but names aren't the only thing. Like we have Antonio Brown up here, but I doubt he's gonna get signed by anybody at all. He's not going on a team at all. And that's sad because he obviously messed himself up and something's wrong with him. I'm not gonna say anything more about that, but definitely that's like one big name, but you don't know, you doubt he's gonna play or doubt he's gonna be good for your team mentally and physically.
Yeah, he's like a lot of people say locker room cancer, and people don't think it's a real thing, but it is a real thing. When you've got a player on the sidelines that's throwing his shirt off, regardless of what the reason was, he might have had a valid reason leaving the team, But there's ways to do it. I mean, we've heard of people retiring during halftime. Just simply walk. You don't have to throw your jersey off. You don't have to do all that. Like, that's a distraction.
Yeah, it just became a bad distraction for the Bucks as well. I mean, he did literally quit the team right in the middle of the game, and that doesn't look good for anybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big of a name you are either. That's just gonna drop your signing stock or whatever it's called.
The craziest thing is he's so good still.
Yeah, he still play.
He could be a top 5. He could be a top 5 receiver.
Oh, I wouldn't go. Yeah, I mean, I could see top 5 receiver. You mean in the league?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that. I don't think I'd see him that top 5. I think he just had a good situation.
I think he could be.
Gotcha. I think
we wouldn't have thought like Hunter Renfrow. We wouldn't have thought he would be in the top 10 conversation a year ago, but he is. Same with like Cooper Kupp. We didn't think he'd be the leading receiver in the league, but he did.
Yeah, Antonio Brown still has a lot of speed, and he can still catch. He's proven that in Tampa Bay, but I think he just kind of ruined his career at this point. So yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see him again.
Yeah, I don't see anybody trying that.
Yeah.
There's been rumors of the Ravens, but I don't see them doing it either.
I think it's more likely that Colin Kaepernick gets signed than Antonio Brown.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Lamar wants Antonio Brown, but I think John Harbaugh knows better and not to sign him at all.
Because look at how many teams were interested in Deshaun Watson, even though he's got kind of a headache.
Yeah, and he's recently just been like in at least the first court cases. He's literally been proven innocent. So, hey, who knows at this point? Who knows if he's gonna get suspended anymore? But who knows?
Yeah.
And going down, it says Calais Campbell is a good edge rusher. Maybe he's asking for a lot. That's why teams aren't signing him.
He could also be debating retirement.
Yeah. He's getting a little older, but I think he would have retired by now. There's a lot of teams that can use him, and there's a lot of teams with cap space that can definitely have that veteran help on the defensive line.
Yeah, I'm trying to look because center Brandon Linder, the Jaguars are in talks, but so technically he's a free agent, and he's probably one of the bigger names. But he's debating retirement. He still hasn't given an answer on that yet. But we want to re-sign him so far.
Yeah. Akeem Hicks is another big name because Akeem Hicks, he's been really good for the Bears. Yeah. And I think he could be really good for a team, just like Calais Campbell. I mean, he's getting older, but Akeem Hicks, that's a name that has been in the league for a while. And I really would like to see him play on a good team. Melvin Ingram. Oh yeah, what are you saying?
I was gonna say with the amount of young prospects, I would want him on my team just to teach some of the young guys.
Yeah, exactly. He could teach them anything he's learned over his past years. That's kind of what in the Super Bowl year, the Falcons Super Bowl. That's what Dwight Freeney was to all that whole D-line to Grady Jarrett and everything. And that's probably one reason why Grady Jarrett's even better now than he was before. Melvin Ingram's a really good pass rusher as well as Akeem Hicks. Also, Dwayne Brown is a good tackle. Dwayne Brown's a tackle, right? I'm pretty sure he's a tackle. Dwayne Brown. Yeah, but also Rob Gronkowski. I would have thought he would have signed with the Bucks by now, but it still leaves it open to Joe Burrow. He said he loves Joe Burrow, and he might actually. They need a tight end. They got rid of C.J. Uzomah, who's been really good for them. So I'm surprised to see that they let him go.
Well, Gronkowski actually did make a TikTok about it like a couple of days ago. He made a TikTok that like someone kept commenting like, "Are you going to play for the Bucks?" And he did one of the like a space one where he's like looking around like this, and he didn't answer it. So
oh my god,
interesting.
Big name Julio Jones. I would love to see him back as a Falcon. We definitely still need wide receiver help. I don't think he's going to ask for too much either. because he's been injured the last 2 years. So I feel like the Falcons should pick him up, even though they don't have Matt Ryan anymore. I'm not going to go into that.
Well, they need to get someone for Marcus Mariota still.
Exactly. Mariota needs a weapon. He can't just run around. Definitely, he can't just run around and hope he can run past the defense. He's definitely gonna need some help, and I think Julio Jones is that perfect signing. I think
Matt Ryan with the team that's there now would have done way better than what Marcus Mariota will do.
Oh yeah, for sure, and especially if they re-sign Julio Jones there in Atlanta.
He makes wide receivers 3s and 4s look like 1s and 2s.
Yeah, it just really hurt that they released Russell Gage too, because Russell Gage was up and coming, and I don't think he's gonna have the same season he did last year for the Falcons, and it's because Matt Ryan made him look better. Given Russell Gage made some amazing catches, and he's a really good receiver and route runner, but I think Matt Ryan is helping these receivers by putting the ball in the spot where they can go get it.
Well, he does have Tom Brady throwing him the ball now, so.
Yeah, so we'll see, but that's already a wide
it.
receiver heavy offense already with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
Yeah, so I think he'll do well there. Justin Houston and Jerry Hughes, they're big pass rushers. Maybe they just get re-signed. It's been too late in free agency, so I think Jerry Hughes get re-signs with his team, and Justin Houston, I think he goes somewhere else, like Houston or something like that, just to provide them help. Even the Jets, even. I mean, they already have a good defensive line, so that would be huge for them as well, just to add that. You talked about Jarvis Landry already too. Jarvis Landry, I honestly could see him on the Falcons. He did want to when we were about to get Sean Watson, but I don't know now. But it would still be a good signing.
If he's wanting money, I could see him going to somewhere like the Jets.
Yeah. And going back to Julio Jones, Patriots could also sign him as well. They're really interested in him.
Yeah.
And I could see them. They never really have the true number one receiver for a while, so I think they could really use him. And Steven Nelson, decent corner, but I think he goes to one of those middle teams in the pack sort of teams that aren't really there for the playoffs, kind of in the middle. And that's AJ
really Boye hasn't been picked up either.
Yeah, that's another good corner signing. I mean, teams could use him. That's why I really think that Casey Hayward signing for Falcons is really good. Pairing him up with AJ Terrell.
Yeah,
that's gonna be really good.
Dang, I just looked that up because I was thinking about him.
Yeah, and I want to go back to the Falcons thing. I think this was the best way for Matt Ryan to get a ring is to go to Indianapolis because he actually has the O-line and the defense. Yeah, he's eating something while he's talking.
Always eating talk.
Yeah, what are you eating, Ian? Tell the people.
Garlic bread.
Oh.
I got some pizza.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm waiting on the pizza though.
Oh, okay. Oh, you ordered pizza? You ordered some pizza?
Yeah, from Al's Pizza.
Oh, you lucky muffin. That's a really good pizza. God damn it. Yeah.
So I ordered it. I ordered it at like 6:15.
Wait, what the hell?
Yeah, it didn't get here till like 8:30.
Why? What? That's insane.
Because I was like, I can eat before I start.
Yeah.
It didn't get here till like halfway through the podcast.
Oh my god. That's insane. Oh my god. But I think Matt Ryan is a really good fit for that Indy offense, and I really hope he does well. He could win the Super Bowl with them, and I'd be happy. I just hate that it wouldn't be a Super Bowl for the Falcons because I always imagined Matt Ryan would win the Falcons their first ever Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, that's like I was telling ATLWILL. That's super reasonable to want Matt Ryan to do good.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it was a Matt Ryan Super Bowl versus the Atlanta Falcons, like you would root for the Falcons, but you wouldn't be like pissed if Matt Ryan won.
Yeah. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't even be slightly mad at all. Honestly, I'd be so happy for him. I'd actually get his Super Bowl jersey too, at that point, and it'd just be really awesome to see him hold up that Lombardi for everyone to see,
Yeah.
and prove
He's
all these
definitely.
haters down too.
Yeah, the Colts, in my opinion, are definitely AFC South division contenders.
Yeah, I think they're making the playoffs this year. Honestly, they're making
They
the
should.
playoffs.
There's no the difference between him and Carson Wentz will win the game against the Jaguars that they needed to get into the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm interested to see Carson Wentz in Washington, though.
I am too. Ron Rivera is a good coach. Ron Rivera is a good coach.
And back against the NFC East.
Yeah, that reunion in with the Eagles. Oh, that's gonna be some good games as well. Trying to prove himself again, trying to say, "Oh, you messed up by not getting me." But they do. Eagles have Jalen Hurts now. He's playing well, so.
Carson Wentz was 16-9 against the NFC East.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good record. Pretty good record.
The Giants are obviously they got a better coach now, but I mean they're still gonna have to. They're kind of in a rebuild.
Yeah.
An expensive rebuild because they've got a lot of cap space. I mean, they don't have a lot of cap space anymore. They kind of screwed up by signing Kenny Golladay. Hopefully, DeBoll can make Kenny Golladay the number one receiver he used to be. I mean, the last year he didn't play like a number one receiver, and he's overpaid.
Yeah. And there's so many things like this wide receiver market now with prices just going up and up, and it's gonna be hard to keep some of your star players, especially if some receivers are asking more.
Hey, can you imagine when DeAndre Hopkins goes up for a new contract?
Oh man, he's gonna be paid the highest paid receiver in the NFL. He's gonna be paid. He's gonna be one paid more than Devontae Adams too.
I was thinking that because Devontae Adams just got a good contract. Tyreek Hill just got one. But can you imagine when players like DK Metcalf go up, Cooper Kupp goes up for another contract? Like they might not be near as like their talent level, but when they're the wide receiver on the free agency block and a team wants them, they're gonna pay just like Christian Kirk. The Jaguars wanted Christian Kirk, so they were like, here's the check. Let me sign whatever I want on here. And there's gonna be a wide receiver needy team that's willing to pay them a lot of money.
Yeah. I definitely really, really agree with you there. Yeah, we went over the free agents, and we had Will on here. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. If you're still watching, yeah. Ian, do you got any more? Anything more you gonna say?
No, that was this was a fun episode to do. I really enjoyed talking to ATLWILL. It's the first time I have ever talked to him.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, I actually I was going to a Falcons game. Someone who was going to go with, he got COVID, so he couldn't go anymore. So what I did was message ATLWILL on Instagram, and he replied back quickly, and I was like, hey, I'm a Falcons fan, you're a Falcons fan, you want to go? He said, yeah. Finally got to meet him. He's an awesome guy, really chill, really cool, and we got amazing seats. I bought his tickets for amazing seats at the game, and yeah, he joined us for a podcast today, and I want to thank him again as well. He was an awesome guest on podcast. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the podcast. Make sure to check out our link tree. It's going to be in the description below. Check out our TikTok, our Twitter. We post daily on everything. We post a lot. We post often. So if you guys are looking for NFL content, definitely check out our TikTok and our Twitter. Our Twitter is at PI Podcasters, and our TikTok is at PI Podcast. So definitely thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll catch you guys in the next podcast. This was a little shorter one, but definitely next one should be longer.
See you guys.
Peace.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PI Podcast and on Twitter